Alright, we are back. And last we left off, we went to the mage tower. And then things weren't very good. Things were having a rough time. It was covered in flesh goo, demons everywhere, abominations. But it's okay, we solved the problem. Killed a lot of people, saved some as well. And so now the mages will help us save Redcliff and fight the blight or whatever. So. Also, Sten ambushed us when we came back to camp and said he wasn't impressed with anything we do. That's nice. And I'm gonna grab real quick.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me. I'm sure you'll...
I'm going to grab all of the feast day items so I can quickly give that. Everyone. Let's go around, talk to everyone before we head on back to Redcliff. Or the ritual to free Connor from his disaster.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
Thanks, I guess.
You're welcome.
So, you gonna tell me why you're caged now?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
Exactly what happened.
I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
Actually, that also sounds like what happened to me at Ostagar.
I heard the stories of Ostagar. Your kith stood their ground when others fled. No one can do more than that. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
What did you do?
I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
And then?
I killed them. With my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
That's terrible.
I know I cannot justify what I have done. My honor is forfeit. That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Well, can't we search for it? We'll figure out where it went.
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Well, where did you fight the Darkspawn exactly?
Near Lake Calenhad.
You know what? We can find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
Let's see. Who else talk to? Who to talk to next? Let's say hey to Roland.
My lady, today I was remembering our life before all this. We had happier times. I can't stop thinking how it all came to this, and I wonder how our lives will change.
We were always bestest of friends.
Ha! That we were, since the day we met. I remember being scared to leave my family at such a young age to go and serve in a big castle, full of strange people I'd never met before. But there I see this child, roughly my age, just smiling at me. At that moment I knew my life would not be so bad.
Same here. I didn't know other kids my age.
I think it was meant to be. I mean, we lived and did many things separately, but we had the same tutor, and we trained together. I remember how you used to steal cookies from the kitchen when Nan wasn't looking, and how we used to fill the soldiers' boots with mud.
Or how he filled Aldo's ink bottle with water, or,
We were bad together, no doubt. This conversation really put me in a good mood. I'm even hungry. Let's get something to eat.
who else to chat to? We'll go around the circle. Say hey to Morgan, then hit up Alistair last. Yeah. Also, we gotta say hey to Wynn, who's right over there. Liana,
Yes?
I would like to talk.
Well, here I am.
You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Alright, tell me about the Darkspawn. Since we're gonna be facing them, and it's kind of relevant.
Chantry lore says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
I see. No any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
That sounds interesting.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Alright, continue.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the jousts, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Well, I was hoping for a happy ending to that.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Alright, now let's go and talk to Wynn. See what's up with her.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest. Rest would be welcome.
Are you all right?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
Hey, there's still some life in those old bones, I bet.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
Hey, don't say those things. We still need you one.
Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
Wynn approves of you not wanting her to die. Let's hang out with Zev. Doing quick talks today.
Here I am.
I have questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
I see. You did quite well, no doubt.
Within the crows, I did. But it has been something the crows have devoted a great deal of time to perfecting. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
This sounds very useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
I wonder if Zev will teach me the assassination way if we become better friends. Audelia would much like to be more efficient at murder. Right. Hey Morgan, are you over here being moody?
I have a thought.
Just the one.
Ah, such wit. Truly, you and Mother should form a troupe of jesters and tour the countryside. We have an opportunity that I believe we should take advantage of. To the point. My mother was once divested of a particular grimoire by a most annoying Templar hunter. It occurred long before I was born, but even today, Flemeth speaks of the loss with great rage. With the circle of magi in such disarray, it occurs to me that this might be the perfect time to recover the tome from their possession, for surely it eventually ended up in their hands.
And what do you want with it exactly?
'Tis a book of spells, of the sort that Flemeth has dabbled with throughout her long life. 'Tis not the sort of thing that would benefit a mage of the standard variety. They were taught a different path. I, however, was taught by my mother. I know a way around the wards my mother would have placed on such a tome. I know the language that she would have written it in. I would find such a tome most useful.
And you're telling me this now? Useful in what way?
Useful in the way that it might increase my power. Useful in the way that I would become more useful to you. Does that not follow?
Yeah, how do I know it's not dangerous?
Dangerous? All knowledge is potentially dangerous.
That's true.
If you have some fear of me such that I should not be allowed such knowledge, then by all means deprive me of it. I have no ulterior motive for seeking it, however.
And yeah, you're telling me this now?
It did not occur to me when we were still in the Mage Tower. I wish it had. Truly, Mother has assumed for a long time that the tome was lost forever. I only remembered it now after thinking what treasures might be found in the Circle of Magi's tower now in its condition.
Well, I may have pilfered that already. You know me.
What is this? The grimoire? Ever since we discovered the condition of the Mage's tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
You're very welcome.
I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
Interesting indeed. Morgan is happy because we stole from the tower. Big steal. Alright, Alistair. Actually, I'll talk to you after I check out my dog.
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
You wax his tail.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
It's the thought that counts. He means well.
The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
I mean, it was a gift, though. Can't just throw it away like that.
I just did.
Aw.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
Aw. He just wants to be friends. You hurt his feelings.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Hey, Alistair, how you hanging?
At your service.
As greeting has changed, and there is a reason for this. So, this he starts greeting you like this after you have triggered the romance for Alistair. And usually, you would think it would be very obvious what dialogue would trigger flirting or anything. But for Alistair, in particular, I had to go through all of the dialogue options. I've done this once before. And talk to him after every single dialogue to see when exactly this trigger occurs. And it's literally after you talk to him and tell him that you like him for who he is that triggers the romance for some reason. I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. But yeah, that was always weird to me because I'm like, wait a minute, I never said anything flirtatious to Alistair. And then all of a sudden, romance was started because I accidentally romanced him the first time I played through the game. And it was literally that line of dialogue where you tell him that you like him for who he is. Now we're just gonna roll with it. Anyway, I have questions.
Of course.
What was it like to be a Grey Warden with all the others?
I didn't know them for very long. But I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
I definitely want to hear the stories.
There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? It was Gregor... He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow, it doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly until...
I'm sorry. This must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
Not at all. But you do have your memories of him.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go. I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Go ahead, let's do this.
Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
Like, maybe. We'll see. He seems legit.
That's a lot to put on a maybe, isn't it? He's an assassin. The crows aren't known for giving up. Maybe he's just biding his time.
And I don't think he'll try anything. He probably would have done it by now.
That's very trusting of you. I guess you must have your reasons. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
Well, like, I respect him. He seems very straightforward.
The more I talk to him, the more reasonable he does seem. His philosophy is so strange. But it doesn't sound at all as vile as the Chantry describes it. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
I mean, at least he's telling us, like, the truth. He seems to regret what he did, too.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway.
It
What
looks
about
on in the
Liliana?
back.
Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I mean, I believe that she believes in her vision, and that's all that matters. And her not stabbing us.
That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
I mean, it was her choice.
Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
I mean, what reason could she have to betray us? She hasn't, like, shown any reason to, like, kind of stab us in the back as of yet.
Hello? Have you met her? I think she'd need a reason not to betray us.
I mean, I don't know about that. I think we're useful to her as she's useful to us.
Well, there is that. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Yeah, he'll talk about more people as you have more people in the party. But I don't think he ever asked about when. Like, no matter what. So, like, what happens now that there's just the two of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Logain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
Oh, where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Does Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here, but I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
I mean, will we need to start rebuilding the order?
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
Sounds legit.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. At your service.
Alright, well, let's go. An interruption. Okay. Alright, says you are the leader. I will talk to you.
Rough travels out here, eh? We even saw Darkspawn on the way in.
Darkspawn, you don't say.
Right, Darkspawn. We killed a whole band of them on the way up from Lothering. We're delivering a message to the Chantry in Denerim. You?
What's the message about?
We saw a blood mage down near the Brazilian forest. We're off to tell the Chantry about him.
Hey, I gotta stop you.
I thought you said... Wait, you're serious?
I mean, why not let us deliver the message? We're gonna be heading over there anyway.
I suppose that's all right. As long as it gets there. Stay safe.
Bye. Safe travels. You bunch of fools. Filters pass. Figured I'd stop by here. On my way back to Redcliff, it's on the way. Excuse me while I loot before talking to you, sir.
Right.
Excuse me. Alright. Hello, sir. You have a exclamation point over your head. What can I do for you?
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
I mean, is that just part of your problem?
Well, yes. Oh, it's been quite the month. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and entrepreneur at your service.
I'm Audelia, pleased to meet you.
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you'd consider helping a fellow out?
Mean? Depends. What do you need?
Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
Alright, what does a control rod do?
The dwarf I brought it from said it activates and controls a golem. So long as you have it in your hand, the golem does what you say. Might be useful, no? I mean, you look like the sort who could use one, yes?
I mean, what's the catch?
The catch? Yeah, I suppose it is a catch, isn't it? The catch is that the golem didn't come with the rod. It's supposed to be down in a village down south, waiting to be activated. Even if I could get down there, which I can't, I understand the place has been overrun by Darkspawn. That's not such an issue for adventurous types like yourself, surely? Or I'm hoping that's so, at least.
Alright. Do I know that it's even gonna work?
The fellow I brought it from is a long-standing contact. He didn't want to come to Ferelden, however, with all our... troubles. He said he got it from the man who owned this golem. But to be honest, I have no idea if it will work. Hence the low price. What do you say?
And how much do you want for it?
Nothing. I just don't want to have to lug around something that might be taken for a gemstone by some bandit. To be honest, I don't even know if it'll be useful to you. I paid too much to simply throw it away.
Oh, yeah, sure. I can find a use for it.
Just as well. As I mentioned before, you'll find the golem down south, in a town called Honleith. I'll mark it here on your map. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
And if it doesn't?
Maybe you could look up the fellow who owned the golem before. If he's still about, that is. Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
Good luck with your mule, sir. Another interruption.
You have coin, stranger? With Orzammar closed off, old Tegrin can give you a discount. Fine weapon and arms, dwarven made.
Master works all, you can't go wrong. What's going on, Orzammar?
There's two things I'm here for. Travel or trade. Understand?
Alright, let's see what you got. Hey. Alright, so we got Irving here. There's Joanne, Azul, Egon, and 2 extra random mages. I'm just gonna drop a hard save. Cause this might be a struggle. Might not, might be easy. Alright, first enchanter.
Ah, there you are. We have brought lyrium and begun preparations for the ritual. We can start any time.
Okay. Hey, do you have any last minute advice?
It truly depends on the manner of demon. It sounds like a spirit of greed and desire, one of the more powerful in the hierarchy. It will likely engage you in dialogue and tempt you with an offer. Avoid it. Making deals with demons never turns out well.
So only one person can go through?
Yes. We haven't sufficient lyrium at present to send more than one mage into the Fade.
Alright. You sure this is the only way?
It only works because the child gave himself to the demon willingly. If the demon takes over the host forcibly, we must slay the abomination. We have only enough lyrium for one attempt. I hope you succeed. Such a young lad deserves better than execution.
Alright, let's do it.
I'm glad we decided to take this route. This is really the best option.
Very well. Who will go into the Fade?
Let's send Joanne. Because give him a chance to redeem himself.
What? Me? Are you sure?
Loose a blood mage into the Fade to meet a demon. What if he takes control of it?
This is Joanne's chance to redeem himself.
You trust too much and too quickly, but I shall do as you ask.
I'll do my best. I promise.
You better fix it, bro. And now we play as Joanne. When and Alistair approve of me not killing a child. Alright, we got all these moves. Pretty good. Let's immediately put this on. Okay, we still got plenty of everything else. Alright.
Is that you, Connor? I can hear you! I'm coming!
Did you not shout?
Father, where are you? It's so cold. I want to go home.
This isn't good.
Please, Father. I only want to help you.
Is anyone out there? Hello?
Arl Eamon.
You there? Have you seen my son? I can hear him, but I cannot find him. This blasted fog has me turning in circles.
Try to get through him.
Al Eamon, do you remember me?
You. Traitor!
I guess you do.
Stay away from my son! Stay away! Connor, we must flee! Where are you?
Yeah, there's a few different ways. If you if you're a mage, you can go into this yourself. And you've got a bit more control over the dialogue. But if you send in Joanne here, or Morgan, or Wynne, they're just gonna say whatever they want to say. For the most part. And there'll be different reactions.
This place is so dark.
Yeah, they're having a rough time.
Blessed art thou.
No, we gotta find this demon. Well, there's Connor.
Who are you? Are you the one that made Father ill? Tell me now.
Be nice. Be nice.
Hello, Connor. I'm here to help your father.
No! You're here to hurt Father. I know it. I won't let you.
Well... Get him!
Right away. Oh, you're such a pest!
Go.
On it. You started this!
Get him! Hey. That was easy. It's a lot more difficult though when you're not actually on easy mode. At which case you might want to go in as yourself as a mage or send in Morgan or Wynne. Usually Morgan.
On it.
You're the one making Father sick! I'll help him! You can't stop me! Get out of here! You have to get out! Why do you keep hurting me? Why are you trying to stop me?
Gotta communicate.
We don't have to fight. I just want to save Connor and Arl Eamon.
I will not speak with you! Trespasser! I will drive you out! Luscious blood on your soul will be mine!
Get him! Yeah, zappies. Done.
Let's do this quickly!
Get him! Use the stone fist. Zap. Oh, I almost died there. Should heal up after a while. Yeah.
I'll stop you! I will! Please forgive me.
On it.
Alright, healed up. In here. Is this the last one or is there one more?
Father wanders, seeking me, trapped within my web. All is as it should be. Why must you interfere?
Everything ends. They'll never let you get away with this.
Connor invited her to come, and they struck a bargain. She has every right to do as she wishes. No, it is time for you to go now. Do not persist, or things will go very badly for you.
I can't keep this up!
You have no hope, wrestling!
There we go. Oh, there's another one. There we go. Okay, still one more fight. Yeah, Joanne, not the strongest. He doesn't have, like, anything. So he's rather weak for this section. I honestly cannot see anyone getting through this as him on, like, higher difficulties, and you are stuck in the ground. You are right in that ground. Alright then.
Very well. No more illusions. Now we meet face to face. You see my true form, and stand in my domain. It is here I am most powerful. And yet I have no wish to engage your power, nor should you be so eager to engage mine. Perhaps we should converse instead?
Alright, so if you are going into the Fade as a mage yourself, you can actually strike a deal with this demon and let them stay in Connor and then leave and just be like, yeah, I totally fought and I beat him up and it's fine now. When you've actually made a deal with them and you do in fact get something from them. I just don't remember what. I think it's an option of like a skill book or money or something. Right. Now let's converse with the demon.
I've been given a chance to do something good for a change. I'm not going to throw it away.
Alas, that is sad. Very well then. If you wish a battle, you will have it. Let us see if your power matches your boldness, creature.
Yeah. Because, whoop. Yeah, because the demon. Because anyone else you send in here will not accept the deal from the demon.
I'm going.
They're just like, nah, fam. That seems bad. Get him!
Get back!
That was obviously that one was you.
Right away.
Ow!
On it.
Get him! Okay, no. No, none of that. That one. Touch this lyrium vein, please.
On it.
Go.
Right away.
No. We did it. What? We did it, Joanne. You have redeemed yourself. Everyone is sad, but also hype. Look, Isolde, look at what you've done. All of this death is your fault. And the fault of your child. Joanne was the only person that redeemed himself.
So it is over. Connor is his old self. He does not seem to remember anything, which is a blessing. I suppose we will need to send him to the Circle of Magi's tower for training, once the war is over. It's so odd to think of the boy as a mage, of all things. Eamon has much to mourn and rebuild should he recover. but at least he can be thankful that both his son and wife are safe.
I owe you my deepest thanks. I had nearly... I can scarcely believe Connor is the boy he once was.
There is still the matter of Jowan. You trusted him, and he saved Connor's life. I am unsure of what to make of that. We will hold him for Eamon to decide his fate. If he doesn't recover, Jowan's fate is sealed. What do you think?
I mean, why you want my opinion? You seem to already know what you want to do.
You spoke with him, have you not? You know what he has done better than I do, even.
I mean... I think he should be released. He did kind of go back in there and fix it. He could have made things a whole lot worse, to be fair. And he did kind of not seem to know what he was doing. You know, he didn't seem to know the magnitude of what was going on, so he should probably be released, or at least just kind of put in prison for a while.
Released? Are you mad? Why would you do such a thing?
I agree with Isolde. He's a Maleficar. We cannot simply unleash him on the land and ignore his crimes.
I mean, don't forget he risked his life to save your child after the problem you caused.
Perhaps you are correct. But that is Eamon's decision, not mine. I'm sorry. Jowan stays in the dungeon for now. But our task is not done yet. Whatever the demon did to my brother, it seems to have spared his life, but he remains comatose. We cannot wake him.
The urn. The urn of sacred ashes will save Eamon.
I mean, isn't there, like, another way? We have magic and mages.
It has been tried, and we will continue trying. Perhaps the demon's absence will make a difference. However, the relic is another option.
My husband funded the research of a scholar in Denerim, a brother Genetivi. He has been studying the inscriptions on Andraste's birth rock. When Eamon fell ill, I sent the knights to speak to Genetivi. I hoped that he had finally discovered the location of the urn of sacred ashes itself. They were unable to locate Genetivi. In desperation, I sent more knights in search of the brother, or some clue of the urn's location.
And left the castle mostly unguarded. Alright. What will you be doing while I'm doing all of the work that you failed at?
I must organize Eamon's knights as they return, draft new soldiers, and prepare the army to fight. I shall hand Redcliff back to Eamon when he awakens, and in a state where it can be of some use in the coming war. Truly, what other choice do I have?
At least you're gonna be doing something. Alright, I will see if I can find a relic.
No one else can. Even if I wished to do it myself, I cannot abandon Redcliff to its own devices. Perhaps you could seek out the brother's home in Denerim and see if any clues remain on his whereabouts. It is the only place to begin the search, I think. I must go to the hall and begin rebuilding. I wish you luck, and may the Maker go with you.
We did it! We saved Connor, and we saved Isolde, and no one died. If you don't do that, Alistair gets very upset with you.
I have faith that you will find a way to help my husband.
I mean, we'll do our best.
May God bless you, Grey Warden. You saved us all. You have.
Not all, considering the corpses being lit on fire and sent out to sea.
You're the one who saved me.
Actually, it was Johan.
He did. I didn't know that. I hope Father gets better soon. He will, won't he?
I mean... who knows? I'll see what I can do, kid.
Let's get started.
I mean, your mom asked me to find a mystical magical relic that has never been found before in order to fix this.
It is good you resolve this demon business. Now we must either revive the Arl or allow Ban Tegan to take his place.
You
return. Might you have news?
I haven't left yet. Are you calling the knights back?
Yes, but they are returning slowly. No doubt the war's progress, as well as the Darkspawns, hinders many of them.
Right, I should go.
Then I must resume my duties. The civil war continues, and Loghain is no doubt angered Redcliff has not been disabled. Good luck, my lady. You are a great and noble woman. I hope it continues to go well, for all our sakes.
Hey, Joanne. How you doing back in the cage?
They're keeping me here until the Arl revives. If he revives. I suppose that's better than nothing.
That's true. They didn't kill you. Right, next is the smithy, because we did rescue... We did, in fact, rescue the daughter. Sir! I rescued your daughter. What do you have to say?
My Valena returned. She told me of your daring rescue. I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am. Take this. A reward for your deed. It's dwarven made and should serve you well.
You know what? I don't need your reward. I'll find better stuff later. But I don't need your reward. You keep it, because I kind of took everything anyway.
That's even kinder of you. Thank you again. I'm forever in your debt.
Never know when the town might be attacked again. And you'll need that armor.
Thank you, my lady. I'd never have been able to return to my father if it wasn't for you.
Caravan down. Sister Giselle posts. Unfortunate news has arrived that the Darkspawn have extended their incursion into areas previously thought safe for travel. A runner from a border caravan thinks words that they unknowingly passed into infested territory and were being tracked by several unseen creatures. He was dispatched to seek help and does not know the fate of his fellows or the viability of the trade route. Travelers in the area are urged to be cautious. Any with the ability to rescue or determine the status of the troubled group will be rewarded. Oop, take that. Brothers and Sons. Sister Rana posts on behalf of her neighbors. The Darkspawn incursions in the south have made for difficult communications even through official means. The relatives of the conscripts in Company East Hill have beseeched me to deliver word of their brothers and sons. I have no means to do so, but can point a traveler of stout heart in the proper direction of their recent engagement. To any who are able to find their loved ones, I offer what little silver they have been able to entrust to the board, as well as the sincerest gratitude of the Chantry. So hard to read. So tiny on my screen. In deep. Winter sends the request from Knight Commander Thames. Well, the reports I have heard no doubt suffer from exaggeration. The observed creatures assaulting Redcliff trouble me greatly. If we were to properly combat these unnatural agents and prevent their reoccurrence, mages bound to my service will require carefully prepared samples of flesh for study. Thereafter, should a deployment occur, we will be well briefed. If there are skilled warriors present, I would have them gather samples from any remaining creatures as close to the presumed source as possible. Chantry will reward this basic assistance with spiritual acknowledgement. If the request is exceeded, gold will be added, but the offer is limited. Cool. Desperate Haven. Sister Rana has heard reports of an imminent tragedy. A runner has brought me dire news of a group of refugees fleeing Darkspawn. They've been quartered in an unfamiliar ground, fighting for their lives. The Templars are necessarily occupied, and my own means are few and stretched. If someone of the skill has the ability to deliver these people, I can only offer the honest gratitude of myself and the Chantry. Hopefully that will be enough for the rare person we need. Alright. We have so much stuff. I think I got a lot of corpses.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
There we go. So weird, all of my achievements reset.
The deep dark before dawn's first light seems eternal, but know that the sun always rises.
Hey, Blackstone liaison.
Maker's blessings upon you, Warden.
What you got? Grease the wheels. My friend, I have tasked that requires some tact and discretion, and I think you're perfect for the job. The Blackstone regulars cannot survive without the patronage of the nobles, mages, and other groups who retain our services. For that work to continue, however, we have ensured that people. Well, I think we have to ensure that people are looking out for our interests. To end, I ask you to make a trip to Denerim and pass on our appreciation to certain individuals. Return when you're done. I'll say that you are rewarded. Sure. Why not?
Now that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliff.
I think it turned out pretty good, don't you?
I just wanted to thank you. You went out of your way to save the Arl's family, and you did it. Even though it would have been easier not to. There's been so much death and destruction. It makes me feel good that at least we were able to save something. No matter how small. I owed the Arl that much.
I mean, we can stop the blight. We'll save much more.
You're right. Hopefully, by that time, there's still enough of Ferelden left to save. Good. Now that the warm, fuzzy part of the day is over with, we can get back to the ritual dismemberments. Oh, wait, it's not Tuesday, is it?
Nah. +7 from Alistair, because you saved the Arl's family. They are not dead. I mean, Eamon's still in a coma, but not dead. Very much not dead. You remembered the day you arrived at the castle. Now we got things.
How could I forget? That's the day my life changed forever. It took me many days to arrive there, and honestly, I didn't want to go. My father had talked about the future, my duty, making him proud, and many other things that I didn't care about. I just wanted to stay at home with the people I knew.
But you changed your mind.
I did. After many days of travel with my father, imploring him to take me back, by the way, we arrived at the biggest castle I had ever seen. The Teyrn and Terna were there. I was intimidated, to say the least. They asked me to wait outside while they arranged things. I was sinking emotionally, and then I saw you.
I was curious. I wanted to see the new squire.
I didn't know the Teyrn had children, so when I lifted my head and I saw you... Well, Fergus was some years older than us, but we were roughly the same age.
And I stuck my tongue out at you. Haha, you're a nerd.
Yes, you did. And after that you showed me a very wicked yet warm smile. Right then I knew it wasn't going to be that bad. Still, it took me a while to get used to it. I must admit, I cried myself to sleep the first few nights. But everybody in your family was always very nice to me.
That abrupt cut. It's unintentionally funny. Right? We all liked you, Roland.
Yes, there was that strange familiarity, wasn't there? I slept in the barracks with the other squires and soldiers. I trained with them too, sometimes with you and your brother. But we had the same tutor, and your parents always had a kind word when they saw me about. I always had a small something for my birthdays waiting for me in the barracks. I am very grateful to the Teyrn and all his family. And yes, that includes you, first and foremost.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
I mean, was Connor, but otherwise, no.
Ah, yes, Connor, of course. The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Yeah, seeing the monster you could be is unsettling, yes.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if If there is any way an abomination can be cured, or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
Well, if one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
And improves. +1. A little bit. Lock in.
So, tell me, how did you become a Grey Warden?
Well, Arl Howe massacred my family, and Duncan helped me escape. Sorry for the trauma dump.
Arl Rendon Howe? The Arl of Amaranthine? Why would he do such a thing to you?
I mean, who knows? He had always been a friend of the Couslands.
You are the last of the Couslands? I had no idea. My lady?
I will pay for what he's done to me. Head on a pike.
Do not be blinded by your desire for revenge. Rendon Howe will get what he deserves in time. Such deeds cannot go unpunished. Take heart, dear friend. You survived, even when you were not expected to. We do not know yet what lies in store for you, or the name you carry. It is not so bad, is it, being a Grey Warden?
I mean, yeah, I'd give it up if it meant I could see my family again.
Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be.
I think I'll end that right there and pick up again later. And then probably start off talking with more people again, because they got a lot to say.